Twinkle bright like a legend. Jumping into the training menu for this scenario, you'll immediately notice our old friend scenario gauge off to the side and our new friend's weird wing icons. Let's talk about the gauge next to the gauge first. When you do trainings, rest, race, or etc., you'll fill one of these gauges depending on the color of the wing that was associated. Each of these gauges has a maximum of 8 sections to fill. You can fill 1 section by doing a normal training and 3 sections by doing a rainbow training. Every 6 turns, you'll get access to special buffs based on how much you fill these gauges, which fills up the gauge next to the gauge. Are you sick of that word yet? With these, you'll get permanent buffs for the rest of the scenario, which do hilarious things such as increase your bond level gains or a stamina reduction on your next training when you succeed a training. You start with access to 2-star skills and get access to 3-star skills once you get 4 buffs. Once you max out, you can replace a buff of your choice. Now, I could go over every single buff here, but there are just way too many to go over, and I'm over my word count as is, so let's take a brief 30-second look at the perks, and then we'll talk about Legends guidance. Once you get to the first summer event, you'll undertake the phenomena of Legends guidance. Depending on which color you have the most of in your gauge, you'll either receive assistance from Saint Light, Speed Symboli, or High Seiko. You'll be able to see progress on each of their powers by looking at the various gauges they bestow upon you. This scenario loves gauges. Saint Light's guidance grants you an enhanced motivation state which lasts for 3 turns. Imagine the boost you get from being super motivated, but more so. If you can't imagine that, then imagine a 20% boost in stats going up to a 55% boost. You can also increase the duration of this state by getting motivation from any effect. Conveniently, Saint Light's blue stamps also come with a heap of motivation bonuses, so you can get a ton if you pick the right ones. You can reactivate this effect after the first summer event by obtaining motivation 3 times. She requires a bit of setup and can be a bit of a mess since you can get unlucky with RNG, but she's not bad. Speed Symboli's guidance initiates a state in which for a number of turns, so long as you don't fail trainings, you get a stat boost effect and a stamina reduction effect. This effect will end if you either rest, go on an outing, fail a training, or fall victim to random chance apparently. Instead of a fail chance, the training bubbles will show an effect ending chance of 30, 60, or 100%. You can also get a boost in stats for however long you keep the effect going once the effect ends. To reactivate this effect, all you have to do is succeed in 4 trainings. Speed Symboli was the first legend who granted me a boon, and I can confidently say that I didn't get it at all, so I stay away from her now. High Seiko's guidance awards you with the best friend gauge, which automatically makes it the best option. You also get new NPCs to join the cause. This gets increased the same way a normal friendship gauge would, so training. Once the new gauge is maxed, the character appears in their training category, allowing you to get some pretty serious rainbow trainings. However, once you do a training at max level, the bar resets and you have to max it out again. High Seiko is definitely the easiest of the 3 and is typically the one I try to befriend during the scenario. Now you may be thinking, hey, if I get a specific guidance, doesn't that mean I should probably just get stamps that correlate to that character? And the answer to that question is, yeah, probably. Obviously, if you happen to stumble across a 3-star skill that isn't in the color that you're training for, then I'm not going to tell you not to take it. Once you get the blessing from your legend of choice, you can't lose it, so if you find a stamp that fits your playstyle, then go for it. It just so happens that that's almost always going to be categorized under the color you currently have the most of. There's a lot going on in this scenario so far. Let's talk about Dreamfest. Dreamfest happens 3 times over a scenario and are actually sort of a challenge. I, for one, have been breaking my normal habits and buying skills if I don't think I can beat a particular race. You're probably going to need some for the final race at least, which, by the way, replaces URA finals. If you win in the Dreamfest, you'll be rewarded with a metric crap ton of stats, a level up in your trainings, and your unique skill a level up. You still get most of these rewards if you lose, but you best believe you get the most out of it if you win. The jury's out on how, but sometimes Almond will show up to your final race and completely and utterly destroy you and your self-confidence. However, by coming in second, you still get significant bonuses as if you'd actually won, so it's not all that bad. This scenario is made significantly easier if you happen to have the Embodiment of Legends SSR group card. I don't usually go over these, but this is so helpful that it almost feels necessary. When you go on outings using this card, you get a significant boost to your gauge of choice. This also allows the 3 legends to show up and give you boosts after training events as well. So for your sake, I hope your free polls went well. Now, if you ask me, the strategy is to go for pink stamps and become friends with High Seiko because it's the easiest for my Nintendo DS cartridge-sized brain to use the fullest of its abilities. If you follow the recommended screenshots from earlier in the video, you can get some pretty serious boosts and make the most out of them for whichever particular legend you get. None of the stamps can hurt you, and the ones that weren't arbitrarily recommended aren't that bad. Just not as helpful as the other ones are. Typically, I'll try to get the bond stamp first to raise bonds faster and then grab whatever I can from the list later. Also bear in mind that some stamps have effects that need to be activated, so if you see a stamp that's gray instead of its normal color, you haven't met the condition to activate it. Make sure to have Google Translate on standby. Bye.